reality. As for entertaining, I think that will be, and this is unkind of me, but never mind, hearing about all her glorious things that she's done in her life and how amazing she is. And when she was 11, that
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
sort of sending off a letter saying that she didn't like the fact that they said men should be helping in the
Yeah.
in the
Which
men
we've
should-
heard 250,000
women
times.
should
It's
do
like
it.
that's the only thing she's achieved in her life. What a shame,
Wait for it.
Angela, that she didn't actually go into the royal family and use that incredible platform to make some real change, which was an opportunity provided to her.
Yes, absolutely. So this is coming out.
Okay.
May be very boring. Poor old Harry, he might have his golf or polo or something like that, but he's really being left out of most things. And I think that's another thing we should keep an eye on, because she's doing an awful lot on her own. Maybe she drags him with her, but I don't think he's going to take part.
Now, you're hearing there's been more fallout from that CBS interview.
Stop it.
Last week about the launch of the Parents Network. You're saying many didn't think actually that they were really the right people.
No, very much so. They didn't think they were the right people because of what they'd done to their family. And I think that's very interesting. Obviously, you couldn't compare yourself with parents who had a
Wait for it.
child who'd committed suicide because of something they'd seen online. I mean, that is, such a rare, terrible thing. But it's just that they didn't feel that she or Harry were the right people because they didn't
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
put family first. They didn't care about family first. And I think there's something in that. But also Jane Pauley, who interviewed Meghan very well, brought out things about her. We've already said about when she felt that she wanted to die, and how she and the woman, and Jane said to her, well, there's not many people here yet, are there? And Meghan was furious. There were only 3 couples there.
Okay.
And so she brought it out that, well, Meghan wants to do it. She hasn't actually brought together a whole load of people who could discuss it with themselves. And she spent so much of the time talking about herself and what has happened to herself. She really does believe that's what we want to hear first. And of course, these people are desperate for help so that you can hear their story and help them. And they felt that it was a very wrong thing for them to do because some of them who wrote to me actually said that they looked at her and they could see she wasn't the slightest bit interested in the couples who were talking to her. Now, I don't know that. I can't say that because it's difficult.
No, but you could
Stop it.
see it.
But
You could see it, Angela, because there's that moment where, and actually, let's have a look at this. Actually, there's that moment where she was sitting next to a couple who were poor.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Have a look at this.
In his hand, the phone. That's how addicted he was. He couldn't even kill himself without posting about it first.
And like the Dollies, it's often impossible for parents or anyone else to see.
So, Angela, you can see there, can't you? I mean,
yes,
this
it breaks
is
your heart for the couple. Actually,
Yeah.
it really breaks your heart for them because they'd come obviously with hope, and here are this
Okay.
grand couple, and actually, it probably made them feel worse because it didn't work.
And it just feels like a really odd thing for Harry and Meghan to want to take on. As you say, they're
Wait for it.
spreading themselves so thin. And the problem is, look, I think this is a really important cause, Angela, a really important cause, actually. It's absolutely devastating if you're a parent and you lose a child to suicide. But because there's so much exhaustion about Harry and Meghan, being victims, always going over the same thing, always talking about themselves. It got lost, really. It wasn't a big launch. And I do also think, Angela, they haven't learnt the lesson from the royals, who focus on a small number of key issues which come to define their lives. So, for example, you look at Queen Camilla, it's all about domestic abuse and the treatment of women, isn't it? You look at Catherine, and it's about early life and education, something she's very passionate about. With Charles, we know obviously it's about heritage and the environment, and with Diana, critically, very modern issues at the time, but it was about the HIV epidemic, it was about bulimia, it was about homelessness, it was about landmines. But Harry and Meghan, what is their cause, Angela? What is their project? There seems to be loads of victimhood going on, but it's very, very hard to attach them to a particular issue, and so they just move on to the next so quickly, which doesn't actually bring the true attention that's required for change.
No, yes, absolutely.
Stop it.
And it was very extraordinary when Harry did speak, and he said that every parent should be a first responder. Now, you know, a first responder is a sort of medical man who saves someone from dying. But I mean,
Are you serious?
that's not, these are ordinary people, ordinary family. And they think, you know, how can I be a responder? Have I done something wrong? You know, is that one of the reasons, oh, this is terrible? I mean, it's the last thing you should ever say to somebody, surely.
Yeah, and I just wouldn't be wanting to turn to Harry and Meghan for advice about how to deal with very sensitive issues within a family, Angela. They have shown with their actions that they don't give a damn about the mental health of their own blood relatives, because they caused the late Queen and Prince Philip absolute hell.
Are you serious?
During their dying months. That's not something you do if you care about the mental health of your family members. They have absolutely devastated Meghan's father, Thomas Markle, let alone all of the issues that they caused psychologically for William and Catherine. So I just
Wait for it.
feel like I'm not going to want to take advice from these two when it comes to the mental health of family members.
That's it, you see. And it would have been better if they'd had a quick sort of
Wait for it.
couple of hours with somebody who could help themselves on this matter. And you do need professionals for this. You can't just have a little chat. There didn't seem to be any tea anywhere or, you know, water anywhere. You just sort of sit down, Meghan would tell you about herself, lucky you, off you would go. That's not the way. But I don't suppose that either of them will feel they needed that. But it would have been quite helpful if they'd got
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
proper professionals in, and they let them go and talk to them. And then they could just join for a few minutes, you know. They'd have to be very, very careful what they heard.
Stop it.
From Harry and Meghan, and something so sensitive.
Angela, of course, over this side of the Atlantic, it was lovely this week, wasn't it, to see Catherine looking good, looking pretty healthy in this video supporting the Team GB athlete. But that aside, actually, the thing that was going most viral, Angela, was Prince William's incredible stubble. He's grown this beard, and we know... Oh my God! He loves a beard, Angela. He loves a beard. He didn't like the fact that the late Queen didn't want him to grow a beard. But there's quite a psychological thing about this, isn't there? Because can you imagine how furious Harry would have been when he saw William looking handsome and strapping and everyone's saying how well he looked with the facial hair, because it was almost like the one thing that Harry was still able to hold over his brother. It's like, this is the one thing I have that you don't have, my beard, and now that's out the window.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know whether he's going to keep it. It might be just because it's
probably for the summer, yeah.
But to do it, because it was a bit sort of rough, wasn't it? But he did look quite different, and it was more mischievous, I think. He just looked a bit more
Stop it.
like that. And it was something to talk about. But you know, when Harry was getting married, the late Queen, actually, there was a protocol that nobody who wore
Wait for it.
an army outfit when they got married could actually have a beard, and she tried very hard to get him to have a beard, and William tried to take away his beard, and William did the same, and Harry absolutely won in the end. He was furious with William. So X years later, he's now taking advantage and getting a beard. I don't know whether when he's doing all his royal things that he will need it, but beards are more